So, time to start a new build, and we're going to start in this Hurricane Mk1 Tropical by Airfix. And as usual, you start with the cockpit. I really like the way these new Airfix instructions are laid out, and yeah, it builds quite nicely. With the seat done, it's time to move on to the actual cockpit framing, which is nicely depicted by Airfix as a multi-part tubular cockpit, as it was in the real aircraft, of course. You have to make sure that everything's at 90-degree angle, so that's why I've got the metal ruler out, just so I can set it up right and then put some glue there and just let it set. For the tropical filter, you need to cut out a little bit of the wing. I use a razor saw and other bits, this P cutter from time to time, to actually score them and saw it out. Airfix has decided to mould the wing guns as just plastic sort of like divots. I've decided to make some proper gun barrels because there's no cloth or anything covering up these the barrels, so you'll be able to see them. So just started off making a small centre punch with the craft knife, and then just building it up with bigger and bigger drill bits. There you are, you can see it now. Moving up to the next size. And then the final size, I believe it is. Once that's done, I can remove a little bit of flash, widen them out a little bit with the knife, and then I'm going to use these needle ones that you can use for glue. So they're not hypodermic needles like sharp ones, they're more for glue application. So with a pair of snips, just round it off, and then it hopefully should snap where I want it to snap, where I've just cut it round. There we are. And then we've got a nice gun barrel which has to go in the aircraft. And then it's just a case of adding some super glue. Next up, it's adding some riveting. So I got some plans offline, and I'm going to be using this RB Products wheel, pencil and some ruler and bits and pieces to be able to make these rivets. So first off, just have a look, we'll see where they are. They don't have to be 100% accurate, but you want them to try and get them fairly close. So just measuring up what the distance is between the actual panel lines, and then marking them on the actual panel where I want them, and then basically just joining them up. Once I've put them on with pencil mark, I then get a straight edge and the riveting tool and just run it down the rivets, pressing fairly hard so it moves. And then just going from front to back, and then I'll do all the other ones as well. And then I can just remove the pencil marks with some IPA, cotton towel, and we've got rivets. And then you can just smooth out the raised bits with a worn down sanding stick, and there's one that I completed earlier. So back into the cockpit. It's been painted silver with the cockpit interior colour, and now I'm just going to add some simple seat belts with some sticky backed foil. The foil's very malleable, so you can put it in whatever sort of shape you want. It doesn't need any super glue or anything like that. It's a bit like that bare metal foil, but it's not. I actually got it through work. And then it's just a case of painting those straps in a hemp colour, just to, give some colour. So the cockpit's been painted, and at this point I have put a clear gloss coat on everything, and now I'm going to give it a wash with some ink, so some Indian ink, just diluted with some more, so some washing up soap in there, just a drop of washing up soap, and it gives you a nice dark wash, but also it's fairly easy to remove. And once it's dry, just with a wet cotton swab, cotton bud, Q-tip, whatever you want to call it, you can just remove it really easily. Next up, some oil work, just some yellow ochre and brown, because obviously this is a tropical zone, so it's going to be out in the sand, so just dab it on, then with a brush moistening thinners, so I'm going to wipe off moisture, and then I'm just going to blend that oil into the actual cockpit, and it'll give you like a dusty, sandy sort of effect. Well, that's the hope anyway. And I'll do exactly the same on the cockpit floor, obviously where the pilot's feet are going to be and where it's going to get fairly dusty, muddy, and all that. And there we are once it's finished. And the same way I hollowed out the guns, I hollowed out the exhaust to give them a bit more depth. And there we are, fellas, that's where we are at the moment. As you can see, the fuselage and wings are joined. A little bit of sanding here and there, and a little bit of putty as well. And yeah, she's ready for seam lines going and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, that's it for now. See you later, fellas. Bye.